Hey, my name is Alex, and this is lesson 7 for 7th grade math. Okay, so for this first part, just have to simplify it into trinomial. They give the trinomial here. So to get this form, just distribute, simplify this. So just FOIL, and it's 2x squared minus 2x minus 4x plus 4. And simplify that, that's just 2x squared minus 6x plus 4. And yeah, you just get that by distributing the terms like this. Okay, and number 2, just the same thing, distribute. So x squared plus 9x minus 2x minus 18. And if you simplify that, just x squared plus 7x minus 18. Okay, now for the second part, you just have to simplify it. So you have to isolate your variable. So for here, number 1, you have x. So I'll move 1 over to the other side, right? So it's 2x equals 11. Divide both sides by 2. You get x equals 11 over 2. You could just leave it like this in fraction. Let's do number 3. Number 3, you have x on both sides of the equation. So if you try moving, let's say, this x to this side by subtracting 2x, then you'll see that 2x minus 2x is just 0. So what you end up with is 4 equals negative 3. And 4 never equals negative 3, right? So it's just no solution as your answer. Okay, so the next part, you just solve the system of equations by graphing. And for this first part here, for number 1, just make it easy on yourself, right? So just try isolating the y, making it into slope-intercept form. So for x minus 1, or x minus y, excuse me, equals 1, subtract x on both sides, and then divide both sides by negative 1 to isolate the y, and get your nice, easy slope-intercept form. Right? And it's just to graph this y-intercept is 0, negative 1. Your slope is 1. So just go over here on the graph, 0, negative 1. Slope is 1. So just plot a few points, and then you can draw your line. Okay. And for our next equation in this problem, x minus y equals 6. Just like this one, put it into slope-intercept form, makes your life so much easier. So move the x over onto the other side. So negative y equals negative x plus 6. Then divide both sides by negative 1. So y equals x minus 6. And your y-intercept for this is just 0, negative 6, and your slope is 1. Right, this is 1. So just like our line over here, go to the graph, plot your y-intercept. Slope is still 1. So just or plot a few points, and then you just draw your graph like this. So that's how you graph number 1. Alright, so for this next page, a little bit different. Not too bad though. It's just inequalities now. Alright, so here, x is greater than negative 3. Now remember, um, in an inequality, when you're graphing inequalities, if it's just greater than or less than, then it's a dashed line when you graph. Why? Because the value at which you're graphing isn't included in the solution set. And if it's greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, then it's just going to be a solid line. Okay, when you graph. So you just have to kind of remember that. So on that, x is greater than -3. You just know that it's a dashed line, just like I said, and it's at -3. So just draw your dashed line at -3. And that's higher graph, x is greater than -3. And for our next inequality here, x is less than 7. It's a dashed line just like the one before because, right, it's less than right here, so it's dashed. And it's going to be at x equals 7. So just draw your line at x equals 7. Yeah, but before we finish this, or to finish this, you also have to just shade in the solution set, right? So for x is less than 7, it's going to be everything greater or less than 7, which is what the left side, right? So just shade in your graph. And for x is greater than -3, it's greater than. So everything greater than this line is just to the right. So you can shade everything to the right hand side of the graph. Okay. And yeah, that's how you solve number 3.